Good morning, sixth grade. As I've said in our Class Dojo stories, I posted up a video last night about how I'm going to be doing two video lessons per week, one math and one ELA. So I thought I would start with a math LOD. So today's date is March 30th, 2020. And we are going to be doing area and perimeter with variables. So as a reminder, variable is an unknown value. Oftentimes you'll see variable represented by the letter X. Today, just for fun, I have two variables in our problem. So as a reminder, we went over perimeter and area kind of right before we left for our quarantine time. And so it is something we went over, but it hasn't been something that we went over many times. So I'll review that in this video as well. All right, so today I have this odd shape. Oftentimes in real life, we don't always deal with perfect squares or perfect rectangles. And so today we're going to take a look at a polygon, which means a shape with many sides, not necessarily a rectangle, not necessarily a square, but something that could perhaps be like backyard with a little area for a garden, or like a pool and a hot tub or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to go over the dimensions with you first, and then we're going to review perimeter and area from there. All right, so we have 4 feet along this side, 6 feet here, 2 feet here, 2 feet here. This is our first unknown. This is our first variable, which is X. And then this is our second variable, which is Y. So as a reminder, perimeter, I'm going to scoot this up a little bit. Perimeter is basically, if you can imagine, building a fence around this entire area. So we're looking at the outside of this odd shape. So here I put P. P is equal to, perimeter is equal to side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3 plus side 4 plus side 5 plus side 6. Now I'm going to count the sides off for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 total sides. The challenge here is that we have 2 sides that have unknown values, but they're not unknown. They won't be unknown for long, because as you take a look at the shape and as you can calculate the given dimensions, you should be able to figure out what X and what Y are. Okay, so that's the first thing you're going to have to do. You're going to have to find the perimeter. The second thing you're going to have to do is you are going to have to find the area. Now, as a reminder, area is equal to length times width. Okay, so when we have done area in the past, we have done perfect rectangles, perfect squares, we've done triangles, we've done trapezoids, we've done parallelograms, but we haven't done areas of an odd shape. So your job today is to figure out the area of the entire shape, but I'm going to give you a few hints along the way. Okay, so we're looking at length times width. Remember, in triangles and trapezoids and parallelogram, oftentimes length times width is referred to as base times height, but remember we said they are synonymous. So I'm going to go with length times width, because when we're doing quadrilaterals, that is how we often refer to the lengths. Okay, so I'm going to start drawing something here, and I'd like for you to draw the same thing. So notice I have now split my odd shape into 2 common shapes, right? We have one common shape here, and we have one common shape here. I'm going to call this area 1 and area 2. So we're going to have to figure out area 1 and then figure out area 2. And then you're going to think, how am I going to get the area of the entire odd shape? Actually, now that I'm talking about this, I feel like we may have done this in class. So if we've done this in class already, then great, this is a review. If we haven't done this in class, here it is. Okay, so for both area 1 and area 2, you're going to have to know variable y and variable x in order to figure out the exact areas for both of these shapes. And of course, at the end of it, we're not separating the area 1 and area 2. We need to know the total area of this entire odd shape. I was going to say, are there any questions? Because I say that automatically, but you're not here. I'm here alone. And so I'm hoping what I've said to you so far has made sense. I'm going to review it one more time. We have this odd shape. Let's say it's a backyard, grassy area, and a garden. And we need to know first the perimeter. Let's say you're building a fence around your backyard. You need to know how much fencing you need for the outside, right? And so we're adding up all of the sides 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And as you can see in this odd shape, there are 6 sides. Then we're looking for the area of this odd shape. And notice how I've drawn a dotted line here to separate this odd shape into 2 familiar shapes, right? I could have even done it in a different way, right? I could have drawn a dotted line here to make one long rectangle and one square-ish shape, but I chose to do it right here, right? If you had taken a look at this odd shape and to you it made sense to draw the line here, that would have been completely fine as well. And you could have said that this top part was area 1 and this bottom part was area 2. It's up to you. As long as at the end you have both areas to tell me the area of the entire shape. Now, do not forget that area, the inside, right? So if I wanted to know how much grass do I need to fill in this spot and how much dirt do I need to fill in this spot for my garden, when we're talking about area, we're talking about what kind of units? Anybody? What kind of units are we talking about? Right, that's right. Square units, right? So it's as if I'm drawing squares like this, right? To mark how much space we have inside the area, not just looking at the outside, right? So don't forget to answer area using square units. And notice the units that I'm using for this odd shape is, anyone? Anyone? Right, it's feet. So make sure you use the correct units. So what I'd like for you to do and what I'd like to see in your submissions is a paper. It could look like mine, but I'd like for you to draw out this shape as best as you can. It doesn't have to be the exact same size, but make sure all of the sides are labeled like so, including the X and the Y. And once you can figure out what each variable's lengths and widths are, you can write like X is equal to blank, Y is equal to blank to show me that you figured out what X and Y are. So when you submit, you can take a picture of a paper that looks something similar to this that shows the perimeter and the area. Please be sure to show your work, of course, at all times. Show that work. And if you have any questions as you're doing this work, you can submit it once and then you can maybe ask a question. You know how you could write comments on the side, or you can write me a little note about it. You can go ahead and do that. Or when I post the assignment, you can write in the comments there if you need any clarification, and I'll answer your questions through your comments so that when you submit your work, it is, you know, work that you've done to the best of your ability. Okay, I'm excited to see all of your work. I hope that you know, this doesn't look too unfamiliar, but because we have gone over perimeter and area, hopefully this is a great time to kind of review and work on those skills, and then of course ask any questions necessary. Really miss you guys. This is a little awkward and super low budget, but you know, we're making it work. Comment and ask your questions, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.